Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna talk about the very famous series called Game of Thrones, and I would like to talk about what Game of Thrones can teach us about life. Uh, Most people remember that the Game of Thrones is famous by the dragons, the battles, the incredible characters, and the unexpected plot twist that the series has. But I believe Game of Thrones is much more than just entertainment. Behind the fantasy, there are many other lessons about life, about leadership, about ambition, loyalty, and human nature. Today, I'd like to share some of the most important lessons I learned from this amazing series. So let's get started. Lesson number one: power is never permanent. Throughout the series, we see kings, queens, generals, and powerful families rise to the top. But almost nobody stays there forever. Nobody stays there forever. One season, you are the most powerful person in Westeros. The next season, you may lose everything. So I think that's very similar to real life. Success is never guaranteed. Companies become market leaders and later disappear. Athletes become champions and eventually retire. Even powerful countries change over the time. The lesson is simple: never become arrogant because of temporary success. Stay always humble. Keep learning, keep improving, because nothing lasts forever. The lesson number two: knowledge is one of the greatest form of power. I mean, One of my favorite characters is Tyrion Lannister, the imp. He isn't the strongest, he isn't the tallest, he doesn't have dragons, he doesn't have incredible fighting skills, but he survives because he understands people. He reads, he thinks, he observes, he solves problems. There is a famous quote from Tyrion: a mind needs books like a sword needs a Weston. I think this quote is true today more than ever, because the world is changing quickly. Artificial intelligence, as I told in my last video, is changing jobs, is changing the way the people related each other. Technology evolves every year. People who continue learning will always have an advantage from others that stay in the same place. Lesson number three: reputation matters. Remember that the characters like Ned Starks earned respect because people trusted them. Other characters ruled through fear. Sometimes fear worked, but eventually people betrayed them. Trust is difficult to build. It takes years to achieve it, but it can disappear in a few of seconds. Whether you are building a career, a business, or I don't know, a relationship, your reputation is one of the most valuable assets. Protect it. Lesson number four: adaptability is more important than strength. One thing I noticed while watching Game of Thrones is that the strongest warriors didn't always survive. Sometimes the smartest people survive. That's the important point. Sometimes the most flexible people survive. Life works in the same way. The world changes constantly. New technology appears, new industry emerge, old skills become less available. The people who succeed are usually the one who adapt the fastest. That's why I'm learning English, and that's why I'm learning about the artificial intelligence, as I told in the last video. And I believe learning new skills is one of the best investment we can make. Lesson number five: every decision has consequence. Almost every major event in Game of Thrones begins with one decision. Sometimes a small decision that change everything. The same happens in the real life. One conversation, one opportunity, one investment, one job offer, one friendship. Sometimes these moments completely change your future. That's why we should think carefully before making important decisions. Lesson number 6. Leadership is about service. There are many kings in Game of Thrones, but not all of them are true leaders. Some only want power, like Cersei, for example. Others genuinely care about their people. I think the best leaders aren't the loudest. They aren't the richest, they aren't the most feared. The best leaders inspires people. They listen, right? They make difficult decisions. They accept responsibility when things goes wrong. That's lesson every manager, interpreter, or professional can learn. Uh, Lesson number 7. Pride can destroy everything. Many characters fail because they simply refuse to change. They believe they are always right. They ignore advice, for example. They underestimate their enemies. It's another example that we see a lot in the series. The history show us the same thing. Many companies disappeared because they thought they would always dominate the market. Many talented, good people stopped growing because they thought they already knew enough. Humility is one of the most underrated qualities in life. Lesson number 8. Family and friendship matters more than power. Throughout the series, many characters spend their lives trying to win the Iron Throne. Some achieve power, but lost everything they love. That's what happens with Jon Snow, for example, twice. Others lose power but keep the people who truly matters. This made me think. Success means very little if you nobody to share with. Success is very little if you don't have some nobody to share with it. Careers is important, money is important, achievement are important, but relationship are just as important as well. Lesson number 9. The real enemy isn't the one we are fighting. One of the biggest message in the series is that while people fought each other for power, a much greater threat was approaching. The White Walkers, for example, they didn't care about the politics. They threatened everyone equally. Sometimes we do the same in the real life. We spend too much time competing each other while ignoring big problems, climate change, education, technology, health, the future. Maybe we should spend more time solving problems together. The final lesson is growth requires discomfort. Almost every great character changes. Arya, Jon Snow, Sansa, Tyrion. None of them become stronger because life is easy. They become stronger because they face difficult situations. I think that's true for all of us. Learning English is uncomfortable. Speaking another language is uncomfortable. Starting on a YouTube channel is uncomfortable. But exactly where growth happens. If we always stay inside in our comfort zone, nothing changes. Game of Thrones may be a fantasy story, but the lesson we learn on it are surprisingly real. It teaches us about leadership, about ambition, about humanity, about learning, about the relationship, and about becoming stronger thought challenge. Maybe that is one reason why millions of people are still talking about this area today. Not because of the dragons, not because of the battles, but because it reflects human nature. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we see you on the next video. Bye.